All right, Eric.
All right, guys, cool. So we're going to go ahead and do a hot seat panel with some awesome coaches that are in the mentorship, Julia and Greg. So this is going to be great. And guys, I appreciate you guys wanting to really do this and partake in this. This is going to be really awesome. So if you guys want to just start off really quick and just 60-second snapshot. We'll start with Julia and then Greg. Just 60-second snapshot. Like, who are you? Who do you serve? And yeah, anything else.
Sure. So I'm Julia. I serve women who are overwhelmed or burnt out or just frustrated not seeing the results that they want. I definitely focus more on that mind-body awareness in my coaching. And although I have like that age range that I initially set, I've ended up working with a lot of different ages the past year, which has actually just helped me fine-tune my messaging to tie more into the emotional aspect of um, connecting with prospects. So, and a little bit more about me. I run endurance trail races, I race high rocks, and then I also love focusing on hypertrophy training as well.
Awesome.
Hey
Greg?
guys, you want me to go into it?
Yeah. Go, no, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, my name is Greg. I'm 30 years old. I help gay men career established who are looking to make a transformation first initial 90 days and then long-term more sustainable goals and habits in 6 months and moving so forth. I fine-tuned my PFC. It wasn't perfect. It took me like I was helping generic men and then kind of dialed in more to like my personal community and stuff like that. So I have kind of like really focused on heavily on sales through TikTok. I have signed high ticket pathway clients or high ticket offer clients on TikTok. So I've really kind of dialed in my niche there. And basically, I just renewed two clients this past month and trying to think more. But basically, like what I try to help them with, aside from just the generic, like trying to eat healthier and get into weightlifting in the gym, I help them through body image issues, mental health, like along with their fitness journey because it's pretty severe in the gay community. But what I want to say too more about me, I like weightlifting. I'm a bodybuilder, currently in off season, and I like the lake and the desert and the beach.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for introducing yourselves. So what I'm going to do next, guys, I'm going to just we're going to go through 5 questions and we'll just bounce back and forth, right? And we'll do like a minute each on these questions just for time's sake. And guys, I want you guys to really pay attention to Julia and Greg when they answer these questions because these a lot of these questions are going to be very relevant for you that you might be going through right now. And consider this: they've been in the mentorship for about 9 months, right? So they started off at ground zero, and where they're at now, it's really awesome. So, first question, I'm going to start with Julia. What was the biggest mental shift you had to make to make start to see like real growth in your business? What was that biggest mental shift?
For me, that's the confidence in what I have to offer. And I think that that was something that it just had to come with time and it just had to come with repetition and getting on enough sales calls and actually having enough clients start going through my system and actually being like, oh, okay, what I have to give isn't just all hypothetical anymore. It's actually impacting lives. And I'm able to see exactly what's working in that system. It helped me be able to just believe in myself and believe in what I have to give. Whereas before, it's like when it's all in your head and you haven't put in the practice yet, I feel like it can be easy to really bounce back and forth between thinking like, am I actually going to succeed at this? Can I actually help people? Because you haven't had the chance to practice. So I think it was just one of those things that had to come with time. And that I think that will continue to be true. And that's why I just decided I have to keep showing up no
Yeah,
matter what, through the wins and the lows and through all of it.
yeah, and you definitely been showing up, Julia.
Thank you.
What about you, Greg? Is that big
For
mental shift?
big mental shift, I would say honestly, in the online world, online environment, being able to really just help these people on average lose. I pitched 20 pounds of fat, like drop 20 pounds of fat in 12 weeks. And on average, they'll lose 16 pounds of body fat in 12 weeks. So I set the bar a little bit higher, but the fact they're able to lock in and do it, they can train on their own. They can, some of these people, they do macro tracking and they're able to do that like with my guidance. Like, I mean, it's not easy to get started on tracking macros, but the fact that they're able to create these habits for themselves and sustain these habits, I think was a big mental shift to build more confidence, along with, I mean, let's be real, at the end of the day, like just transactions, monetary transactions, when you close a client and you get that invoice, like whether it's a first time client or a renewal. Like I had 3 renewals this past month, and that still kind of boosted my confidence and mental shift even more. Just because like the fact these people, like I was able to help them, and one of them is a struggling client, and she wants to continue working with me. So I think just being able to know that like they trust me and they're willing to put, their finances and their health and fitness journey in my hands was a big mental shift to build more confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that whole thing, that word trust and confidence. So good. Okay,
Hmm.
let's go on to the second question, guys. So, Julia, we'll start with you. Before joining the Accelerator Mentorship, what were you struggling with the most, and how did you finally break through that?
Well, I think I just felt super dependent on in my in-person clients. And like that was something that I was like, well, at some point I can only see so many people in a day. And I was just thinking about numbers the other day and I was like, wow, like I used to charge like $60 a session and then it would be like 150 if they wanted to add on nutrition. And like that was never going to make me the money that I wanted. So I think being able to see how I can actually scale and having that wisdom and guidance that your program has provided is really what made the huge difference for me to be able to see the pathway to scaling.
Yeah, almost just really just like knowing your worth and value, right? Yeah.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What about you, Greg?
I mean, dating back last year, which I would say like 11, 10 and a half to 11 months ago when I first started was basically, I was at ground zero. I mean, I had like, I used to do in-person private training in West Hollywood, and then that gym shut down, and I really only took one private client and one online client and was just doing group fitness coaching. So I felt like I was still at ground zero. And so the fact that I was able to kind of within a very short amount of time being the accelerator, dial in on the PFC, build a high ticket offer, and then like close enough clients at this point to make my investment back on this accelerator mentorship was a pretty big deal. And I had no program. I was charging 250 a month for online. Like my in-person was fine. I charged well over 100 an hour for in-person because I'm in Los Angeles, but like I was charging 250 a month for online, like to give as much value as possible, and they wouldn't stick with it. They would literally go 1 to 2 months and then they would have some reason they can't stay. And then so the fact that I've been able to like get more results out of these clients because one, I charge more money and I lock them in for a longer period of time, I think was just, I mean, I've come a far way in like less than a year, and I have to remind myself that at times because business is messy. And I was literally competing on stage a year ago, and then after that being like, okay, what do I do with the business now? So it's been a crazy journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so great what you said. It's messy and also too, it's a journey, guys. Like it's a long, long journey. Only 1 year, you cannot sit there and beat yourself up about certain things, right? Really quick in the chat though, one thing that Greg noticed, right, and Julia noticed was like, or said was things about like pricing, self-worth, stuff like that. I want to know in the chat, guys, like what do you guys charge right now for your guys' online programs? And accelerator coaches, like you guys should pop these in quick. Let's see. Maybe
4K,
think about raising them too, right? These next 6 weeks.
300, 2K, 4K.
Good. I like seeing those numbers. Okay.
Haven't figured out pricing. Okay. All right, cool guys. Let's keep moving on this. So next question, Julia, is just I know we throw a lot at you in this mentorship. There's a lot of skill development, a lot of strategy, frameworks, the calls. So what do you think's been the biggest like thing, like strategy framework? Maybe it's showing up to like the calls with Tara kicking you in the butt, right? In
Mhm.
a good way. So it's like what has been like the biggest thing just to catch that momentum?
Yeah, definitely sales skills and then definitely Tara's mindset calls have been super transformative for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them just have really showed me given me chances to implement and practice in the sales skills, and then also like being called out by Tara honestly has really helped me see where maybe I'm just holding on to these old wounds that really aren't serving me. And I know that's going to be like a lifetime of work, but like how grateful I am to be able to do that work through business and actually like see how my growth in this lifetime is also the same kind of energy that's going to help my clients because it's helping me become a better coach. And so all of that just really feeds itself, and I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah. So good. How about you, Greg?
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar too. I always prioritize showing up on the sales calls. I mean, all the calls really, but especially the sales and terrace calls, because I mean, I need that mental shift. Like, I think the one thing that probably destroys most people in business is probably your mental health, because I've seen so many peers in my journey since I've left corporate and gone into this world of personal training and doing it on my own. Like, I've seen so many people who I thought were doing so much better than me. And I'm not even just talking like training. Like, I mean, I've seen people who've had 300,000 followers on TikTok who've given up. And, I think just even having Tara there who's called me out on like whether it's setting stronger goals or like, thinking of like things that will test and work, like which came up with me creating the 21-day challenge. And it's, a monetary challenge too. So that way, whether it works or doesn't work, I get paid to learn. But it's just, a lot of mental shifts. I mean, I've had some pretty down bad mental times in this, and I've, been able to push through, and, I've felt like I've come out of it for the better, and I've grown through it, and I'm in like a lighter time now. I'm not through those dark times, but just always prioritizing going to like those calls and the sales calls, because, it's gonna bite you in the butt if you're on a sales call and you're you don't know what to do. I mean, like I always like I run home from my coaching shift to jump on the sales call because I'm like I'm not missing that. Um and yeah, like I won't even take if I need an extra shift, I won't take a shift if it interferes with a sales call or a Terra call.
Good.
Yeah. So
Good,
good.
man.
So just really quick, guys, just go to Tara's calls more.
Come on the
All right,
sales
guys.
calls.
Let's go two more questions. So Julia, like how has life changed just beyond just income since just implementing what you've learned in the last 9 months?
Um, my focus and um I'd say like my determination has definitely changed. My belief, my trust that like this actually is going to work, and I just have to keep trusting the process, and like being willing to ride those ups and downs too has been huge for me because I am someone who used to really react to my monthly income and be like, oh, it's working this month. Now it's not working. It's working. And just to be able to over time be able to see how I've kind of evened out mentally. Like last month was a huge month. It was the most money I've ever made in a month. And I know that this month probably won't be that, but I'm not freaking out. And so I think like that's been really awesome to notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I would just say trust, confidence, um, and just really believing the process.
And
Hmm.
that's the inner work right there,
Yeah.
inner work.
Yeah.
It's such a great place to feel, right? To where
Hmm.
it's like you have a big month and you have a down month, to where it's like, hey, you're not going to freak out. It's coming the
Yeah.
next month or next month after that,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the process of becoming a different version of yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I think one thing I really had to work through this past spring was understanding that there are good months and bad months, and this isn't a 9 to 5 job. This isn't like it's every 2 week paycheck. And I think I just always thought when getting into this, it was going to be like, I don't know, I thought in a way it would be like that, but it's like, no, it's learning how to navigate ebbs and flows and how to create cushion. And I think one thing I brought to Tara was like, I don't know how to process this like back in when I didn't know how to process like I don't know how to deal with that because it's like, oh, this is going to be very volatile, or in the beginning it is, but even though like if you build emergency cushion and you can get to a point where you can pay yourself in a way consistently, it's like you're still going to have the ebbs and flows, the good months, the bad months. And it was just kind of learning how to process that. And then overall too, like looking at this journey in less than a year's time, it's just kind of like, even though there's been really good times and there's been, frustrating times, it's kind of like one of those things like through looking at the wins and fails, it's like, oh, this is kind of like how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's the entrepreneur roller coaster. All right, guys, let's land the plane with this. This is some great stuff. And hopefully you guys are getting value out of this. So Julia, just what would be your best piece of advice just to like a new up and coming coach or someone, right? That just is like, let's take 9 months back from when you started. What would be your best piece of advice?
Or someone that's in the mentorship right now and they're just
Yeah.
kind of struggling a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I think don't be afraid to invest so that you can earn more. That was my biggest thing, was I was so stuck in wanting to stay safe and wanting to like keep my cushion, but like I could never grow that way, you know? So I think giving so that you can receive more. That's what it seems like to me. Just taking that leap, and then just being blown away with what comes from that.
Yeah. So good. Just like investing and just to accelerate the learning curve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Greg?
Wow, it's kind of a loaded question, but I would say it is for sure. Like, don't be afraid to invest, and you have to practice what you preach to your clients. There's people I look up to who've invested like $20,000 in mentorships, so it's, don't be afraid to invest and take the leap of faith. And I think it kind of held me accountable for sure to show up more to call. I mean, not that I really wouldn't, but it holds you accountable to show up to calls. Like, why am I not going to show up to this call? Like, look how much I just invested. It's just a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Also, I think just your mindset is going to literally destroy you if you don't work on it. If you don't take a day to yourself. Like, I used to think it had to be like this hustle grind, or like I used to think that I had to sacrifice not seeing friends and family, not doing things to like get this to grow. And there are things you have to give up to focus on, but you should still be taking your care of yourself in the process, because I've seen it ruin a lot of people.
Yeah. Pour some water on that mic, Greg.
Yeah,
So good, guys.
holy water on that mine for sure.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys honestly just taking the time to want to just help out with this. This is really good. Thank you guys for your honesty, your boldness, and just putting in the work day in, after day, and just showing up. It's showing up, and just again, you guys are in a great position. You have so much potential. I'm proud of you guys. So thank you very much. So, guys, let's unmute real quick. Unmute, and let's just on three give Julia and Greg a big whoop whoop. 1, 2, 3. Whoop whoop whoop. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You bet, guys. All right. Let's keep going really quick here. Spotlight. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm kicking you guys all off, especially Eric. All right.
I could leave.
All right. Tara Dawn is up. Okay. But before we do this, guys, so what we're going to do is all